different things as nothing, from nothing as a classical vacuum, to the idea of nothing as undifferentiated potential. Even if you could remove all the particles in a box, and shield it against all electric, in the beginning, there was a bang. This is what almost all scientists believe to be the beginning of the universe. That it all began from a state of extraordinary compression and phenomenally high temperature in which forces such as gravity and electromagnetism were unified in a single, all-encompassing force. A singularity. But for most of the century, scientists puzzled over this. Why, if its original state was chaotic, is the universe of galaxies as uniform as it appears? Why is the universe precariously perched between expanding infinitely and collapsing back on itself, between being conducive to life and being totally inhospitable to it? The recent, surprising progress toward answers to these questions has been made possible by the increase in physicists' understanding of the connection between the biggest and smallest things in the universe. During this epoch, the strong nuclear force separated from the other three fundamental forces, leading to the formation of quarks and other subatomic particles. Following the Grand Unified Epoch, the universe entered the electroweak epoch, which lasted from 10 to minus 36 seconds to 10 to minus 12 seconds after the Big Bang. During this epoch, the strong nuclear force was separate from the other two fundamental forces, electromagnetism and weak nuclear force. The universe was filled with a plasma of subatomic particles and radiation. After the electroweak epoch, the universe entered the particle era, which lasted from 10 to minus 12 seconds to about 380,000 years after the Big Bang. During this epoch, the universe was dominated by radiation and subatomic particles, and the first atoms began to form. Finally, the universe entered the era of structure, which lasted from about 380,000 years to several hundred million years after the Big Bang. During this epoch, the universe continued to expand and cool, and gravity began to pull matter together to form the first galaxies and stars. But what if it were possible to reconcile the notions of an eternal universe with the Big Bang? Is it possible for us to have our cosmological cake and eat it too? Eventually, as the universe becomes more disordered, structures will decay, stars will die, and even black holes will evaporate. The increasing entropy of the universe will ultimately lead to the heat death of the universe. At this point, there won't be much left apart from cold, dark space and the occasional photon traveling forever infinite cyclic history, with each cycle beginning with a Big Bang and ending with a big crunch. In this theory, the universe is viewed as a conformal geometry, meaning that the geometry of spacetime is preserved even when it is scaled by a factor. This allows for the universe to exist in an eternal state of self-replication, with each cycle identical to the one before it. This model is what we refer to as conformal cyclic cosmology. That our universe will become the progenitor to the next in the chain. The Big Bang is both the start of our universe and the death of an older universe that came before. In other words, the conformal cyclic cosmology suggests that the Big Bang is not the beginning of the universe, but rather a transition point from one cycle to the next. Since the universe is viewed as existing in an infinite and eternal state of self-replication, the concept of nothingness is not necessary for the universe to exist. Instead, the universe can be seen as a self-contained entity that perpetually cycles through states of expansion and contraction. One of the most profound testable predictions of this model is that we should be able to see the remnants of dying black holes from the previous universe. The radiation left over from the evaporation of supermassive black holes might travel across the boundary from the end of one universe into the next. It's just a case of spotting temperature fluctuations when we observe the radiation in the sky. The scales, while Vibrating in 10 dimensions.